I'm actually going to solve this system twice in this video. The first time I do it, we'll be using substitution. The second time, we'll be using elimination. So starting with substitution, you want to isolate either x or y in one of the equations. So I notice in the first one that I have a positive y with the negative 4x. So if I were to move the negative 4x over to the other side, that would get me y by itself. So adding 4x to the other side would give me y equals 4x plus 6, and now I have y by itself. The reason I went with the first equation is because the second equation has a minus y, which means it would take 2 steps to get y by itself, because the second step would be getting rid of that negative sign. However, you can use the second equation if you wanted to. So now that I have y equals 4x plus 6, I can take this and plug it into the second equation. Make sure you're always plugging it into the other equation. If you plug it into itself, you're not going to get anywhere. So I have replaced y with 4x plus 6. If you do not put 4x plus 6 in parentheses, you are going to get this wrong because you have to subtract the entire 4x plus 6, meaning my next step is going to be to distribute that negative sign. So we actually have minus 4x minus 6 now. And then I'm going to combine like terms. Move the 6 over to the other side. And then the last step is going to be divide by negative 9. So we have half of our answer. We know that x is equal to negative 3. Now, when you are solving a system, remember you need an x and a y in your answer. I know that x is negative 3, so I can take that x equals negative 3 and use any of the original equations. Now, I can also use y equals 4x plus 6. And since y is already by itself, it'll be pretty easy to replace x with negative 3 and figure out my y value. So we get that y equals negative 6. Our x value is negative 3, so you could leave those separate when you write your answer. Or, I said in a previous video, the solution to a system is where those functions would intersect. So in this case, these two lines would intersect at an x value of negative 3 and a y value of negative 6. Which means you could also write your answer as negative 3, negative 6. Now I'm going to show you how you can do this with elimination, and it's a much quicker method. Now elimination means that I'm going to be eliminating one of my variables. So you can either eliminate x or y, and the way that I'm doing that is I'm going to add the equations together. Now, the important thing here is that your x's are lined up on top of each other, your y's are lined up on top of each other, and your equal signs are lined up on top of each other. When you eliminate, you need to add in order for either x to cancel or y to cancel. Now, in this example, I have a plus y and a minus y. And if I were to add those together, that would equal 0 or nothing, which means the y's would eliminate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add down each column. So negative 4x minus 5x would be negative 9x. Plus y minus y, like I said, is just going to go away. And then we also add the 6 and 21. And right away, I'm one step from getting my x value. And just like before, you can plug negative 3 into one of your equations and solve for y. I've already done that, so I won't waste your time doing that again.